So right now we've got John and Heidi Bulford, and so you guys were a powerhouse duo. Your story is compelling as sound. Johnny is a multi-platinum and #1 hit songwriter behind top charters, recording artists like Lee Brice, Chris Young, correct? And Heidi, you are an acclaimed Canadian country artist. You had your own successful radio career and a Nashville writing credits. Now you guys are married together. Can it get more powerful than that? And so now you're this great duo. And we'll get to that second. We also got David Booth with us here, with combat veterans to careers. And we've had David on before. And let's talk about, we'll get to the connection here in a little bit. But you guys are singer-songwriters.
Yes, sir.
Out of Nashville. And let's talk a little bit about what you guys do for CreatiVets, because that's a pretty cool topic here.
Why don't you got into CreatiVets? Johnny's the reason I am a part of this, so I'll let him start.
Well, I feel very fortunate to have ever been asked to do this, but our friend Richard Casper up in Nashville, about 13, 14 years ago, it was a long time ago. I was up there writing for Warner Brothers at the time. That was the first publishing deal I signed in Nashville, and had moved up there from Central Florida. I'm from Orlando originally, and was attending UCF. And yes, it stands for You Can't Finish, because I didn't. I had one class left, and Warner called, and I was like, well, life's just starting. I might as well start off with a hugely irresponsible decision and move to Music City. It ended up working out.
Worked out, yeah.
Worked out. I had a couple of big songs work on the radio, and as a result, got on Richard Casper's radar, because he would go to writers' rounds up there, like at the Bluebird and the listening room after we would do rounds, and he'd ask professional writers if they would ever want to write a song with a veteran. And, when you're first asked this, you're like, yeah, I love our troops, love our veterans. Yeah, but you don't know what you're getting into at all, because we should absolutely know what we're getting into, because we started writing songs because of how therapeutic it is for us. Like, I don't have to find the perfect Louis Capaldi song or the perfect, lyric out there on the radio, because I can go write it. I can go write my own song. And it's a very therapeutic, it's a great way to get something off your chest, whether it's a breakup or any kind of life stuff that's come along, or if you just want to write something fun, it's a very awesome thing to get to do.
I think you just defined country music in about 2 sentences.
Yeah, exactly.
But, and specifically the country music genre lends itself to this very well, because it's so lyric driven, like it's all the stories and stuff. So we're able to apply that, folk country kind of storytelling stuff to this stuff. And not all of the songs that we write with the veterans end up being a country song. We do try to cater to what the veteran likes to listen to. But yeah, they sit us down, and I remember the first ride I went into, very nervous about what it was going to be like hoping I could deliver whatever I was supposed to deliver as a songwriter.
Even though you were already a platinum writer.
Yeah, but I'd never written anything that was that was for
that personal,
like to a person that it was personal to me, the heal, but I never tried to help someone else specifically in the room with me while I was writing, and that's such a responsibility that's been handed over to you. Like, these people are trusting you with their story, a story that maybe they've never told. Usually they've never told anyone, a story that they've had a really hard time talking about, and then it's your job to honor that story and to make something that their family and their friends and themselves will appreciate and love. And what I'll say about this program is that is different than songwriting. Songwriting doesn't always work. Songwriting isn't always productive. Sometimes you go into a publishing house and you're sitting down with your co-writer, and the best thing you come up with is maybe a chorus idea, and you have lunch and a couple of beers.
And you call it a day.
And you call it a day, and you go home. And that is just how the muse works, whatever. It's not always there. But for CreatiVets, the muse is batting 1,000.
It's always there.
It for some reason, Heidi and I know firsthand, songs don't always happen, but for some reason, I guess when you're doing it for the right reasons, they do happen. Because we've been in crunch situations where with veterans where we don't have very long or
bad writing conditions, like loud places, or just not
like things that are totally not.
That could be that would otherwise derail the write.
Would ruin a write.
Yeah.
And they just go seamlessly.
And they still work out.
And we're all crying and hugging at the end, or whatever emotion is woken up. We're all doing that at the end, and it amazes us how well it works. You know, like honestly, we need to get the mentalists back out here and let them peruse our brains and figure out why it works.
So David, they've written a song about you, have they not?
So I actually went up to Nashville and with CreatiVets, and Craig Campbell and Brian White.
Let me get you to talk right into that. Yeah.
Craig Campbell and Brian White wrote my song up in Nashville. But Johnny and Heidi they don't want to write with me.
That's not true. No, David, I'm so glad your mic's not on. I don't think his mic's
I don't think your mic's on.
You got it on. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go back. It's on now, right?
I don't know.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
All right, you get a second chance.
You
At
get
that.
a
Yeah, that was a good dig.
One more crack at it.
So give us a little bit of background about what does that do? What did that do for you? What does that do for other vets?
So I actually went up to Nashville and I took Irving Locker. We talked about that on the show before. We took a World War II veteran up there, and Johnny and Heidi had written their song, but then it got recorded up in Nashville. When I went up there, they tricked me, and they were like, hey, we're going to have you write your song, but because you have to write your song to become a mentor. And I wanted to become a mentor to help with others. So then they're like, all right, well, you have to write your song. So they went up to Nashville, and I went into it with like, all right, I'm not creative. I'm not musical. I'm not artistic in any way, shape, or form. So, but when I sat down with them and went through the actual program that they do, it was amazing. It was to be able to have somebody put your story into words without actually having to, in a way where you feel comfortable saying it and other people hearing it. It's pretty impressive, and it was super exciting. And then I was hooked. So then I'm like, all right, I want to mentor and help others get this word out. So happened that Johnny and Heidi live in Florida, and we're in Florida, so we don't have to go to Nashville. We can do all of that here.
There's a lot of veterans here, yeah.
In songwriting today, you don't have to be in Nashville to do that anyway.
Right.
So
you can do it anywhere.
Yep.
Now, the cool thing about I am glad you got to do the full program, because now David has seen what the Nashville program looks like. He wrote backstage at the Grand Ole Opry. They do a lot of really cool stuff that we'll keep a secret, but they record your song in a demo studio the next day with all the players that play on every Nashville hit up there, and you're the artist. It's this really cool experience that you get to do, and we of course wanted to write David's song. We did. But no one heard when his mic was off. But he got to work with Craig Campbell, who's an incredible country artist who's had a bunch of hits on the radio, and Brian White, who's an incredible songwriter, has had a bunch of hits. And I knew it would be a good experience. We just selfishly we're friends with David and wanted to write a song.
So Heidi, how has this changed your thoughts on writing music, being involved in CreatiVets? Instead of trying to create, a number one song, now you're trying to really help somebody. Has that changed your mindset about songwriting at all?
It's changed like my life. It's changed everything CreatiVets has. Up until it came along, I right from when I was age 3 years old, like I wanted to be Shania Twain, Reba McEntire. If I wasn't singing in stadiums, singing country music, I didn't want it. Like that was all I had on my agenda for my entire life. Well, CreatiVets comes along. Now I fall in love with it. I fall in love with the veterans, and we've expanded our family. We treat them after you've shared so much and you become friends with someone, or, you've had that experience with each other, it's hard not to become a part of each other's lives. Like you're bonded now, and we share numbers and emails, and we text our veterans, and years later we're still checking in on them, and they're checking in on us, and it's changed everything, and to the point where now we write probably 90% of the songs we write are CreatiVets songs.
Okay.
So it has completely changed our careers, how we write songs, when we write songs.
And you've done some of that stuff that you talked about when you were younger you wanted to do. Who have you shared the stage with, so people kind of know that you've...
I've got to sing with like Willie Nelson. I've toured and opened with acts like Randy Travis, Reba McEntire, Martina McBride, Kelsey Ballerini, Jason Aldean.
So you've got some of that experience. It was like, wow. And then how does this compare?
There is no comparison. There just isn't. There's no greater feeling than getting to sit down with Irving Locker or any veteran we've got to write and have them. I'll use the example of 2 Vietnam veterans because it was just such an impactful write. But we wrote their story together, 2 battle buddies that served together when they were 18 years old. And now they have been friends all these years. And we got to write their story together. And at the end of it, they started sharing, and they looked at each other and they said, I haven't told my wife this. I haven't told my therapist of 52 years what I just told you 2 songwriters. What a responsibility and privilege to help, that they feel comfortable enough to tell us this stuff, for one thing. And that just shows you how this process works. They were able to say things they've never been able to say, get it in a song, and now it doesn't live in them anymore. It lives in the song.
And share it, and be able to share it to everyone.
Well, they get happy about wanting to share it.
Yes.
I bet you your mentalist, the guy who was on earlier, could break down. If he sat in a room, he could watch and go, I can see exactly why this is working. But it is totally we say the word trick, but it's not a trick. It's just something we develop over the years writing with each other. It's this ability to pull the information out of each other even when we're being reluctant. Because if it's your pain that you're writing in a co-write, that's the only time walls ever come up. Like if Heidi comes into the room and she has a sad or whatever it is, emotion that she wants to write about, I'm just helping her write it. I'm not going to be reluctant to anything in the song. And
unless it's about you,
unless it's about me, but we learn how to. There's a lot of that goes into it. Little things that make the person or the subject feel more comfortable and relaxed, and the song itself is what makes the person want to share things. Once the song starts forming and happening, it's so exciting that this thing is being born of our experience, that you want to share everything so that the song is better.
Mm-hmm. And according to the CreatiVets website, they've thousands and thousands of veterans.
Yes, sir.
How long has that organization been in existence?
I think they had their 10-year anniversary. I'm trying to think at the end of 24, so I think about 12 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
13 years.
So literally thousands of vets have been helped.
And families. Oftentimes we've done a lot of specialty rights where we've written with spouses, children. One time we did a family right. It was he was the veteran, his wife, their 3 kids. We did a family right. They try to bring more the merrier. Like, let's help the whole family if we can. And
So David, part of being a mentor is that where you are able to take in and try and get vets, not necessarily get them interested, but let them know how the process works and if they want to participate?
Yeah, so what we do is in the mentor, especially down here, I mean, it's so amazing to be able to go to Nashville, go to the Grand Ole Opry, sit back there and write a song. It's just so hard to get a lot of people to be able to do that. And we want, what Richard and CreatiVets did was they took this and it turned into therapy. So then when they write the song, but there's so many veterans that this can help and has helped. So that's why we're doing some of that down here in Florida. Again, it's a nonprofit organization. But as a mentor, so when you sit down and write, you have the songwriters, and you have the veteran, and then you have a veteran mentor. And they pair that mentor with similar experiences so that when it makes that veteran feel a little bit more comfortable. The other thing, and I've written a bunch with Johnny and Heidi as a mentor, and the other thing that happens is the military has its own language. The military has its own, quirks and terms, and so we can also help with some of that. Like we can, hey, let's say this instead of, because this is, I think we did one like 2 weeks ago, and we're like, hey, it's I forget what specific it was.
The Greens.
Oh yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
civvy clothes.
Civilians, and they're like, well, you can say civvies, and they're like, well, would you say something else? I'm like, no, you say civvies, because that's what it is. So,
but if he wasn't in the room, we would ignorantly use the wrong word, and then it
doesn't kind of flow with other people, because other veterans will recognize, oh, he had to get in his civvies. Like it was coming back from Vietnam, and he had to go buy civvies because he didn't want to wear his greens because they were getting spit on and all that, and like. Yeah, he was like, I went and got my civvies. Well, we'll add that to the song. So.
The mentor is there to make the other veteran feel comfortable, but also to avoid the mistakes that like Hollywood makes with movies sometimes, where a veteran would watch it and go, it's like when me and Heidi watched the show Nashville. We're like, that's
you're picking
not even
that apart.
Geographically correct. Like they just stepped
how that goes.
But yeah, it's and none of this could have happened or even have been going if it wasn't for Combat Veterans Through Careers and David Booth. David has tracked down and I mean he's got us so excited about this area and everything that we are selling our house and are currently building one so that we can. I mean, decide on like he is so good at making us feel so confident that this is going to at the very least we're going to help a lot of veterans. Like that is
and we already have and it's with the partnership with CreatiVets that's so important. So again, when we're a nonprofit organization that helps veterans, CreatiVets is as well. The last thing we want to do is be a burden or financially for CreatiVets. So if we're going to be doing some of this stuff here with CreatiVets, partnered with them, we're going to make sure that it's funded. So we're going to find the funding. Our organization is going to help find the funding. I'm good friends with Richard Kesper, so we talk about doing a bunch of different things together. But at the end of the day, we both are aligned that it's about helping our veterans.
How many songs have been written about vets here in the villages so far that you know of?
Well, we got 10.
10?
Yeah,
10.
At least 10.
Wow.
10. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been. I mean, we want to because of the fact that they're here and there's no travel and all that stuff. We don't know exactly what the numbers are going to look like, but we want to help as many as we possibly can, and it's not like we're going to run out. Kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
So the biggest thing though is the apprehension, because a lot of people are like, oh well, I don't want to share my story, or I'm afraid to share my story, or they don't know what it looks like. So this Bourbon, Whiskey, and War Stories that we're doing on Saturday is like a preview of what we do, how we do it, and why we do it, and hopefully we'll get veterans to come out and say, hey, I want my song. And that's what we're trying to do with this. And then we're doing another one in the end of March, which is it's Voices of Valor. It's a Vietnam veteran tribute, because that's the Vietnam Veterans Day. And we're trying to get more Vietnam veterans, especially right now, because they're getting older.
Right.
And we want to get their stories now, and so that they can share it with their families.
So I didn't have, well, we're going to put it up on our recorded version of this live podcast of your event, and it's coming up this Saturday at City Fire, right?
Correct.
7 p.m.
Brownwood City Fire, yeah.
Or Brownwood City Fire.
Is it? I think it's 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
6 to 8.
All right, 6 to 8 p.m. And it's called
Bourbon, Whiskey, and War Stories.
Bourbon, Whiskey, and War Stories. That says a lot right there. That's telling you.
Yeah, so we have
time.
We have like four branches. Is a bourbon, veteran bourbon. We have Horse Soldier. We have a bunch of different high-end bourbons that we're going to raffle off and all that. And then we're going to share some more stories with songs that were written specifically for this event.
What's crazy is you were already doing that event. And then, but I'm just saying, what better we're like, well, we write war stories. It's
Right.
songs
Yeah, what a
that just
perfect,
it married so well together. Yeah.
So you guys are performing.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna.
Yeah, we're going to be doing 10 veteran songs, 10 stories. Yeah.
Okay, you don't want to miss that. That's going to be really cool. I saw these two perform before, so and David has too. They're off the chain. They are really, really good. I saw them at one of David's events, and it's like,
really
oh my gosh, these guys are you're great.
You did
Then
a fashion show.
yeah, did a fashion show.
Was that your
Right.
first time running a fashion show?
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah, you doing that again next year, David?
We are. Yeah.
Oh, I want to be
course.
included in that.
Yeah, it is a lot of
He's
fun.
gonna get better hosts next time.
No.
No, you guys are perfect.
Yeah.
That was the most fun Heidi's had in so long.
It
the
was-
most fun I've had in a long time.
It was a riot, and watching all those people modeled in the clothes from your
Yeah.
boutique was
From
phenomenal.
a thrift store, right?
Yeah, I find something in my size. I want to be
Deal.
a model next year. So, and Dixie, you guys, beyond performing for this, you're performing now at some. Tell me where you're performing at some of the other events. You're trying to take and do some of the events around here, correct? You want to take and get booked into some of the events.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we're going to be locals in about 6 weeks, so we would love to play locally.
And play in places like City Fire, country clubs, any of those kind of things.
Yeah, we do a lot of private events, like we play weddings or anniversary parties, backyard club events, that kind of stuff. We're very flexible.
Yeah, we want to get them booked in a bunch of social clubs and
Yeah.
get all of those, do the whole village's gamut,
Yeah.
anything and everything.
Yep.
Well, how cool is that to just book somebody to play at your event here in the Villages? And geez, they're Nashville
Right.
country music stars and songwriters. How great is that? That sounds like a great.
Well, Heidi was more of a star. She toured and did she had the songs on the radio. I was a songwriter in the writers' rooms, but yeah, you'll if you do book us, we have a bunch of Nashville stories and a bunch of originals that we wrote up there with some amazing people, and
Yep.
and some of them you might recognize from your radio.
Yep.
And either way, we have a lot of fun, and we can do some covers here and there. We don't care, whatever people want to hear. We
We
just
like to play.
like to play. Yeah, that's typical musicians.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
So, how did you get to Nashville? You won a contest or something? Did you?
I did. There's people always ask. They're like, "How do you make it in Nashville?" And I'm like, "Well, I can just tell you how I did it." I have so many friends that have completely different stories. I was a musician down in Orlando, going to college. I started writing in Nashville when I was about 15 or 16 years old. I started coming up and working with some people up there that I met through. My Orlando connection was they tried to put me in a boy band at Transcontinental Records with Lou Pearlman back in the day, if anybody knows about that fiasco. But luckily, right before all that fell apart and Lou went to jail, someone handed me a number and said, "You need to go to Nashville and be a songwriter and an artist up there. This place is going down." And gave me Charlie Craig's phone number, who's a songwriter, iconic songwriter, is no longer with us, but he's the one that showed me the ropes in Nashville and got me established. And then I had given up on music and was I was still touring with my band a little bit while I was going to school, but I was like, I'm going to do the responsible thing, and I'm going to get a degree, and I'm going to go work, and I'll make my money, and I'll get a paycheck, and wound up accidentally winning the Colgate Country Showdown when I was 23. And with that, you get a $100,000 check and some attention in Nashville, and a few months later, somewhere in there, I met Chris Young, and we became really good friends, and he helped me land my Warner Chappell deal at Warner Brothers.
So what did you do to win that?
I sang a couple songs I had written, one called "How Could I Not" and one called "What Happens Here Stays Here." A song it was a call. I can't. Oh no, it was "What Happens Here Stays Here." Yeah, these are. I haven't thought about these songs in forever, but sang those two songs. I was gonna do two upbeat tempo songs, but I noticed 3 of the 4 judges at the Nationals were girls. So I was like, I'm going love song all the way. And I sing.
He's a smart man.
And it ended up working out. They ended up saying that song was the reason they gave me the win. But yeah, I won that and then signed up there and then pretty quickly had my first number one, A Woman Like You for Lee Brice. And then shortly after that, Chris Young recorded Lonely Eyes, and we had another hit. But Chris Young recorded I had a lot of album cuts on him over the years. My first ever recorded major label cut was Flashlight. I wrote about my dad that Chris recorded. We wrote it together. But yeah, it was the coolest. I mean, it was so much fun. We got to ride tour buses and jet around town. I mean, I was never the big artist, but I got to experience all that, and it was like the coolest thing. And it still is not quite as cool as any of these veteran rights that we've been a part of. Like it is such a different experience making these songs with the mentor, like our mentor with Irving's song, Bart Crow. Like I feel closer to him than some songwriters I've been writing with for a decade. And we've written a few songs together. It's real, we're writing real stuff.
Heidi, what got you here? Or what got you to Nashville?
Yeah, I come from a very small town called Dawson Creek, believe it or not. Like the TV show.
Like the TV show.
Like the TV show, about 1,000 miles north of the U.S.-Canadian border. So I grew up in a farming community and very cold, miserably cold. Like, no one wants to brag about being the coldest place on earth on Christmas, but we do. Like, that's all we got. But I started singing in church when I was 3 years old, and just that was it. There was no plan B. I just had to be a singer. Was obsessed with it. So growing up, I did piano lessons and voice lessons and dance and everything. Theater. I was a theater nerd that was always acting in some production and whatnot, and just knew I'd wind up in Nashville one day, and just, as soon as I got out of high school, booked a plane ticket and went down by myself and just started knocking on doors, and hi, I'm Heidi and I can sing. Didn't know a person and just had to start somewhere. So
it sounds like it worked.
Did. Well, so my parents, I had a scholarship to go to college, and my parents were like, you are not throwing that away. Like, you can be a singer, but you can't throw away a degree. Like, come on. So I did go to college and I got my degree, but
she finished. I
did finish.
I could have guessed it out of the two of you. Yeah.
However, it's not great. So I went to be a registered nurse. So passed my board exams. I'm officially a registered nurse. I moved the next morning to Nashville, and I worked this many hours as a professional. Nurse? Yes. So not a little better, a little better.
Same.
At least
same,
I finished. Same. Yeah. But yeah, just had to knock on doors and cold call and be gutsy and have doors slammed in your face like a lot.
What was your first gig in Nashville?
Probably the Commodore. It's a very famous open mic night it's in the Holiday Inn lobby, and it's 7 nights a week. Debbie Champion.
Mm-hmm. Also my first gig. We didn't know each other at the time, but also my first.
I feel like it's everyone's when you move to Nashville.
Charlie Craig brought me there. That was the first round.
Gotta go play the Commodore. Mm-hmm. And they have, it's just sign up. And so 7 nights a week, 7 p.m. open mic, and you show up and you sign up and you have no idea, and they do 3-person writers rounds, and you have no idea who you're playing with. And this wasn't my first round, but one of my very first times playing the Commodore, like within the first few months that I'd been there, I was in a round with Gary Hannon, who's massive songwriter.
South African.
So that's just the kind of experience, like they put a newbie, I'd probably written 30 songs total at this time, sharing the stage with a award-winning #1 songwriter. So he
wrote Tequila Makes Her Clothes Fall.
Yep. And he was
a lot of fun.
He was lit and singing that on stage, and I was like, is this my life? Like, here I am on stage, like just brand new to Nashville, a kid, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm following Gary Hannon singing that. So that was my welcome to Nashville. Yeah.
And never looked back.
Never looked back. Nope.
She paid her dues a lot more than I did though up there because she had to do the whole.
She didn't show up with $100,000,
Yeah, right.
$100,000 in the bank either. Probably, yeah.
That would have helped.
Yeah.
But I mean, she had to deal with immigration and her work visa.
Yeah,
and all
immigration
that
was
stuff.
probably my biggest. That was
Yeah.
probably my biggest obstacle because I couldn't work, so I'd run out of money. Then I'd have to go back to Canada and live with my niece who's sitting over there and bartend for a few months and save as much money as I could, stay with my family, go back to Nashville, and then I'd stay until I'm like, well, I've got $12 left. I should probably go home.
Yeah, and I tell you what, citizenship is a pretty effective pickup line for sure.
Yeah.
It really is.
It works.
Was it love? No, citizenship first. That's good. That's great. That's a song right there.
On our first date, I told her I said I'll marry you.
Literally, our first date wasn't a date. It was like I had a crush on him. He had a crush on me too.
Yeah.
But obviously. But I invited him to this event and I had just left my immigration lawyer and I was with my manager and the meeting didn't go great. It was basically like become a hit songwriter, get married, or you're getting deported. It was basically my options. And I was like, well, this isn't a great day. So
I had her right where I wanted.
Yeah.
so I called Johnny. He meets me there and he goes, so what did you do today? And my manager, she goes, well, we just came from our immigration lawyer and she needs a boyfriend. And Johnny goes, okay, I'll marry you. And that was 10 seconds into our first date. There you go.
4 months later,
It worked.
proposed. Yeah.
It works.
It works. That's amazing. So, David, are you lucky you met these two from CreatiVets? It sounds like it.
And so we actually met at with another organization called Tee It Up for the Troops, and
In Orlando, yeah.
in Orlando, and we probably for like 4 or 5 years we just
Talked
we'd
about
see
it.
each other every
We talked
year.
every
we
year.
talked, yeah, and it's just we're like finally like yeah, let's just do this.
We left well, was it a couple years?
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I left, and I told you, I was like, we are staying in touch.
He gave us
and
some
hanging out.
Honor Grounds coffee.
That's what it was.
And
there
his
you go.
phone number, and we had a cup of coffee, and we're like, okay, this guy's
That's what
legit.
kept her, right.
Anybody with coffee, like access to coffee.
She was
like
already a citizen,
Yeah.
so it didn't.
Yeah, she's
Right.
like,
She's already
don't
married,
be
so, yeah.
just need
Yeah.
energy.
We just need coffee.
Just coffee.
So,
and-
one question I wanted to be sure and ask before we get the time gets away is how many writers are actually affiliated with the CreatiVets, and then how many?
It's more than I even know.
I
Is
wouldn't-
that right?
I wouldn't know because
Artists too. I mean,
a lot of them, they might have had an artist do like a write one time.
Okay,
So how many that they have recurring versus I actually
so it's a lot then.
it's
I mean,
it's a lot,
I'd
yeah.
say hundreds.
Okay.
and,
if I had
more-
to guess.
and they're always looking
they're
for more.
always
Yeah,
getting more.
yeah. So I'd say hundreds.
So some of the A-listers have certainly been part of that as well. Yeah.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
those guys will be, the further we go along, I won't ruin any surprises
Yeah.
or anything, but the further we go along, the more of Nashville we're going to be bringing down here to work with the veterans that are here. And we're just getting it started. We're just getting it rolling.
Oh,
and I mean, it's honestly, it's not hard to get a musician to come down to Florida for a little
Oh
bit.
no.
Especially this time of year.
We're
Yeah.
we're not worried about having to get our Nashville friends down here to write songs. It's
Right.
going to be great.
That's awesome. Well, I tell you what, he's got his guitar. We got to hear a
do.
little bit
Oh.
of that.
It's not just to cover my stomach while I'm sitting down. I also play it and sing with it.
What are you going to play for us? A verse and a chorus out of one of your songs you wrote, or?
Let's do verse chorus of this song.
Yep, got to shout out Bart Crow. He's our mentor for this one, and Irving Locker is our veteran for this song.
Yes.
And most of you know Irving. He's been on here.
Yeah.
So
I think everyone knows Irving.
Yeah.
Whether
Here's a first verse and chorus of Irving's story here. 17, living in the land where freedom rings. Mama said goodbye to both of my brothers and then to me. I stepped on that ship in New York City, and by Hell's Gate it hit me. Sometimes evil does its best to take it, and heroes have to give it all to save it. If freedom was free, there wouldn't be a mountain of metal in men under Normandy. If God isn't real, then why did I feel the devil himself bringing hell up to Germany? I never would have seen red waves in Utah Beach if freedom was free.
Oh my God. I heard that you guys sing that whole song before. It was absolutely awesome. It's great to hear just a part of it again.
Well, that's
oh my God, yeah.
Irving's story is awesome, and
Yes.
we're so
It's
lucky we got to. I mean, we told a portion of it, you know.
Oh, he wants to write more.
Oh, he wants.
Irving has told us that there are more songs that he
There's
liked
Irving has got more up here than a lot of people.
Oh,
Yeah,
than all of us.
we got to get him to mentor for the next. Because I mean, David, you can account for this. How therapeutic has mentoring been for you in other writing?
It's as equally as therapeutic.
Wow.
I mean, it's super because I've written, like, especially like when you know the person that you're mentoring, it's amazing. Like we did Mike Chesney, and we did this in Texas in the middle of like a high fence ranch. So there's gazelle, there's all these Ginsbach and all these animals
Ostriches.
all
A
around
giraffe.
us, and we're just writing in the song. But it was super because you can feel their passion, Johnny and Heidi's, but then the veteran, and you're actually seeing their story come to life, and they bring it to life, and to be a part of that, to be able to, you know, add some words in, or add some, you know, and even to hook you guys up, because I pushed for you guys to write Mike's song. And see, they didn't write my song, but I pushed from all my friends to write their songs. But they pushed me to be a mentor, and the mentorship it's huge. And I think Irving would be a great mentor because he can add some stuff in, like the weight of the gun, some other things that
Yeah.
he didn't
For
get to add in. But
that book he's got is a good read.
Yeah.
Oh,
too.
he's got so much.
He's got a lot of props.
so mentoring is just as therapeutic. So I love being a part of it, just to be able to say, hey, look, you know, and to see, like we did Dave Bliss, we did some others, and just to see their face when they go into it, and they're like, and then they come out and they're just smiling ear to ear,
Different
or
person.
crying, or just like, it's so amazing to see that.
Well, if it works properly, and so far
It has.
so good, they're able to put whatever that, or at least a portion of that weight, whatever they've been carrying forever, they put it into the song, and then it's outside of them now, and they can visit it when they want to. They can share it with other people, and know that lives in that song now, and less so inside of them.
And it's
you know.
something that they pass down to their kids, their grandkids, their families, and even after they're gone, it's something it's part of that family.
And I could see that, like I said, getting that out, and that still exists, but it doesn't have to live them anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
David, you'd be a fantastic mentor. I mean, just from what I
Oh, he is.
know you and know of you, you'd be fantastic.
And
at that,
it's once they got me, like I said, I was hooked, and again, the whole reason why we're doing this is write as many songs as we can, and help as many veterans as we can.
And Richard, if he was here, would say because Luke lived. Richard started all this because he lost his best friend right next to him, and he's got Luke on his arm, and there's a longer story to that. Maybe I'll let Richard, when he gets down here, maybe he'll tell you.
Yeah.
So, speaking of helping veterans, how do we make sure people know who to help in these organizations? We have your organization, and how do they find you? How do they donate? What can they do? They can buy stuff in your stores. Tell us what they can do.
So combatveteranstocareers.org is our organization. We have a thrift store on 44 right in Wildwood, right next to Wildwood Tire. Right outside of the Villages, we have a clothing boutique right near City Hall in Wildwood. So anybody that wants to come and that is interested, get in touch with us, and we'll start, especially our Vietnam veterans and any World War II or Korean War veterans. We want to get them. Right now it's important because time is limited.
And how can they help your organization as far as monetize? You're a nonprofit, so it doesn't operate for free.
Nope, it doesn't. And so we have, like we said, we have thrift stores. They could donate stuff, and then we turn around, we sell that stuff, and then all that funding goes back to our program. So we do so much more. We have Operation Field Trip, where we do ketamine therapy to help with PTSD, which is huge, and that's actually up and coming. We're a pilot program for a number of different things. They just became the pilot program for Walter Reed.
Wow.
I found that out today. So
No way.
there's a number of different things. That's our suicide prevention program, PTSD. We help with jobs, education, housing, transportation, anything and everything as they transition out of the military back into civilian life. And we talk, and you know what's, and just jumped to my mind, all the things that are going on in the world right now, especially with Iran and all that. A lot of our service members are, they feel that. They feel that there's some sort of for me, I feel like, wow, I'm ready to go. I'm not going. They're not. I'm broke. I've got blown up in Iraq. I'm done. But I'm like, well, I'm going to support, and I'm going to be a part, and I'm going to help support the people that are serving our country, and that's important. And all of our veterans feel that way. So now is a time where we all need to stand together, and as veterans and as Americans, and just make sure that we're there for them and in the support that they're doing a job that's protecting us. So.
And the CreatiVets, they've got a website.
Yeah.
And you guys have a website.
We do. Yeah. So CreatiVets is creativevets.org, and we're johnnyandheidi.com. And we're the only Johnny and Heidi out there, so we're easy to find if anyone forgets.
Yep,
that's right.
I appreciate all of you coming on. David, we very much thank your service. Thank you for your service. Yep. And to all veterans out there, thank you very much for your service. And again, you could find John and Heidi on their website, CreatiVets. It's a really cool website. I was playing around on there looking at some of the stuff. And of course, you got David's organization. Please help support that stuff. And again, John and Heidi, we're going to welcome them to the area here in a couple of months. Book them for your wedding. Book them for your whatever party. I mean, where else can you get this kind of talent to come play at your organization?
And they're big golfers.
Oh,
so
we love
the golf.
And friends would be great. And if you want,
if you need a ringer for your team, if you have you just need one more person for call Johnny.
And one more thing to talk about. You got your deal coming up again Saturday night.
Yep, the Bourbon Whiskey and War Stories at City Fire of Brownwood. It's free. It's a free event. Come on in. Support the local business. City Fire has done a lot for our veterans. We have 10 songs that have been written. We have a lot of Vietnam veteran songs. We have people coming in from all over just to be a part of this, and it's
just to watch John and Heidi perform is enough to come to City Fire.
Yep.
But all the rest of the stuff, come support it.
Yeah, so we build an event around Johnny and Heidi, and
that's right. Yeah.
and veterans. It's a win-win.
All right, we appreciate everybody coming on the show tonight. It was fantastic.